Hey guys, I wanted to go over the next step after you transfer your drawing onto your paper. So once the drawing is transferred, you will double check your lines, make sure that your lines in pencil are clear. And also if you have any corrections on the actual drawing after I grade this thing, you'll correct those. And then after that, you will, with a Micron Pigma pen, start adding some outlines to your work. Now, I wanted to go over some ways that you can do this to show depth. This, in a way, is very similar to what you guys did for your project for the mural with your lines, with your stylized lines. The only difference here, really, is your lines that you are adding. Some of them are going to be lighter and broken than others. If you look so far at what I did with this piece, you see the outside edge of my structure. My lines are heavier and more defined as what you would find as you come into the actual structure. So I wanted to demonstrate a little bit what you would do with these lines. You're not just making an outline, you are, as you come to a corner, you might make things heavier. You can kind of see this little corner here, and then as you come out, things may be a little bit waif-like, as well as you might have broken lines, like there are not outlines everywhere. I do want you to keep your pencil marks as you go, because those pencil marks could be part of your design right there. So the outside edge, and I apologize for the shakiness, this is not on a tripod, but so where you have a corner here, you might have that thicker, where you might have a point here. It may be a little bit thicker. It could be broken as you come out. And then in this little corner, you might have that little point thicker. I'm kind of touching on certain areas here. You can kind of see. It's not like a coloring book where all the lines are the same. But what you are trying to do is where you perceive, like for instance, where you perceive there may be a shadow right here, you would add that corner, make a little bit of a depth here and there. So you can kind of see how this is going as you go towards the central areas here. Even though, like, you might have a little area where you might see a little shadow, it may not be quite as heavy. Your lines may become a little bit more broken. If needed, you can, if you need to do some kind of little touch-up lines here, if you needed to do some little lines here to show just some definitions of some things you can, but you're not going to put as much detail as you go inside in your lines in general. You might have a line in the corner. You might skip a little bit and do a line in the corner. You might do a little indication here, skip. Where you perceive there might be a little bit of depth, you might add a little bit, but you might not have like a full line. It may be more wafy, more broken than what you see. I would say in some of the darker areas, more important areas, you might include some heavier lines there. As you can see, I haven't finished with mine, but that's basically it. Your main things. You need to have your heavier lines and then lighten things up. I'll attach a finished product there, but that's in general what you're trying to do is to create the illusion of three-dimensional depth with your line. So that's the first little stage. what we're going to do when you come back further next week, we will decide if we need to add more depth with the lines that you have, and then also we'll decide if you're going to add another media. Like I added my white pen here. I also added some colored pencil in some areas. My colored pencil obviously is the color of what is already there with my texture. So best to you all.